You'd be sitting still, or you're sleeping, or you're laying in bed, and all of a sudden you can feel your hand jump. I've never had it happen before. I had 3 young children out in the yard gardening. I was pruning and clipping and literally clipped the pad of my little finger off. My brain said my finger was out of the way. I've never had something like that happen before, and I very soon started noticing other things with my left hand. I have big dogs. I'd go to reach out and pet my dogs, and because my fingers wouldn't lift, I'd end up poking them in the eyes when you're trying to pat them on the head. And so it's like something is really, really not right. I went to see my primary care first, and he looked at me and he said, "We'll get you to a neurologist. You probably need an EMG." They were thinking I had a pinched nerve in my elbow. I didn't have any numbness, I didn't have any tingling, I didn't have any pain, I just didn't have function. At that point, I had 3 or 4 EMGs, and they kept, scratching their head, and we can't figure out what this is or what's going on. And finally, they said, "We need to refer you to a surgeon because you've got a pinched nerve in your elbow." I had surgery, have this lovely, lovely scar on my arm, and they got in there. He said, "The nerve's a mess. I've never seen anything like it. I don't think there's anything we can do." In 2013, I started having trouble with my right hand. I chose a different neurologist. His technician did the first couple, and then finally I had to go back into the office and he did it himself. And I thought, what is going on? Am I some medical mystery or whatever? And he kept leaving the room and coming back in, and he'd do something else, and he'd leave the room and come back in. And finally, he said to me, "I need to refer you out." I chose to go to UVA. During that visit, they worked me up. He said, this is what I think it is, but I don't know. And he sent me off to have a brain MRI to make sure we weren't dealing with something like ALS. And fortunately, that was not the case. According to my neurologist at UVA, don't go home and eat potato chips and ice cream because you're probably going to live a long time. This is not going to kill you. I remember asking my neurologist at UVA, "So you're a treatment center for this, so you have people that come from all over to see you. How many patients do you have with this?" And I was number 11. So that blew my mind. I'm the oldest of 5, and none of my other siblings have any kind of neuropathy, and neither do my parents, so it's really odd. My husband was out of town, and I sat here one night for 15 minutes trying to thread a needle because I wasn't giving up. And it was funny. I was laughing at myself, thinking, who'd have ever thought that this would be that hard to thread a needle? It's like your brain is sending the signal, but your hands just aren't cooperating. Dishes, I break dishes. Oh boy, do I break dishes. One of the things that we've done to make it easier is doorknobs are changed, levers, things that are easier to maneuver. Faucets. One of our faucets, I think even upstairs still, have the ball that gotta get rid of that, not happening, not happening. Plates. I had heavy stoneware plates. They're too heavy. Treatments are going well. For about a year, I did them once every month, and now I'm going once every 3 weeks. And that seems to be a good thing. We call it my forced relaxation day. My dose is 55 grams every 3 weeks, and so I have 2 20-gram bottles, a 10-gram bottle, and a 5-gram bottle. We laugh that it's buying a new car every 3 weeks, and the thought of that is just stifling. Even with IVIG treatments, you're never 100%, but 80's not so bad. As long as you can get 80, you can work with it. You know what it's like? It's hard, it's frustrating, but I just have to remind myself that it could be so much worse.